We have a lot of news about the MCGA company, the CRO Treasury. After literal months of silence, we finally get some progress, and that makes me really bullish on the CRO token. And why am I so bullish? Well guys, I would say let's strap in and let's find out. This video is sponsored by WolfSwap and their Wolfie NFTs, as also seen on the big screen in New York. As mentioned in the intro, some news about the MCGA company has been long overdue, but that was also caused by the government shutdown. Luckily though, the shutdown is now over, so the SEC can go back to work. So we got a lot of news, and I would say actually two big parts of news. One being, well, the new prospectus, but also what investors can expect from the MCGA company, but also this little bit of investor slide deck, and there we do get a lot of interesting details. But before we dive into that topic, guys, this will be, by the way, a different video, so make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for more details. I also want to talk about what's happening first regarding the new leadership, because that's also quite important. What we do see here from Chris at crypto.com, a massive day of news for the MCGA official. The process continues, and now with the appointment of two proven digital asset and capital market leaders for CEO and CFO. Full steam ahead, MCGA CRO, read more at mcga.com. So here guys, we do have the official statement by MCGA themselves, and you can see we got two new guys working at MCGA. We got Steve Gutterman and we got Sim Salzman. In the official press release, we can learn a lot more about these two new appointments. For example, again, we do have some words by Chris. So Steve and Sim are proven leaders with deep crypto and capital market expertise to lead such an historic project. This is the next significant milestone for Trump Media Group CRO strategy and the CRO token as well. And this is still just the beginning of the journey. And to quickly add on to that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make the comparison with strategy by Michael Saylor, because when they started buying Bitcoin, they only started with $500 million, or only $500 million. But if you fast forward 5 years, they now have a staggering 50 billion US dollars. So not a 10x, a 100x growth in their equity. So that's honestly quite amazing to see what they have done there. And also, even better, guys, I do believe that MCJ can even be more aggressive, because they don't have $500 million to start buying CRO. No. They'll have a credit line of 5 billion US dollars. So I do believe that the flywheel for the CRO strategy company can be even more effective, depending though on the premium. But I do believe, guys, there are definitely some crazy opportunities there with MCGA. Anyways, let's learn some more about Mr. Gutterman and also about Mr. Salzman over here, because Mr. Gutterman brings decades of experience successfully leading high growth businesses from startup, and honestly, it's pretty much like a startup over here, to multi-billion-dollar businesses. He's led businesses in public listing, several turnarounds, and over 40 acquisitions. So really experienced in the M&A business. Mr. Gutterman most recently headed Griffin Digital Mining, where he served as the CEO to lead the Bitcoin mining company turnaround and secured its sale to American Bitcoin. So of course, guys, after the sale, he's no longer needed as the CEO, so he can look for a new opportunity. And I think this is the perfect adventure now for Mr. Gutterman. Also, previously executive vice president of E-Trade and E-Trade Bank. So he also knows a lot about the fintech environment, I would believe so. Then about Mr. Salzman, 20-year experience of finance and accounting with deep experience leading high-stake transactions, SEC reporting and digital asset strategy across multiple public high-growth companies. And quite funny, they both worked at Griffin Digital Mining. He was the CFO next to Mr. Gutterman. Working alongside Mr. Gutterman, he led the company through its merger with American Bitcoin and supported its turnaround by restructuring its balance sheet and regaining NASDAQ compliance. And that, guys, is also going to be very important here for the MCGA company. It needs to stay NASDAQ compliant. So honestly, guys, a lot of experience within crypto, but especially also in mining. But I think the leap truly from those companies that are already Web3 related to MCGA is only a rather small one. So I do believe, guys, we got some very capable people now in the leadership of MCGA. Then we also have some news about the S4 filing for this new business combination. But let's talk about that after the quick words of today's sponsor. Woolswap keeps building their brand and IP of the Wolfie NFTs. And honestly, guys, they try to cross the bridge from Web 2 into Web 3, but also trying to market, for example, here on the billboards in New York. As time progresses, also, we see more and more perks coming directly to the Wolfies. For example, mystery boxes, amplify boosters, and a lot more. Check it out in the link in the description down below. Anyways, let's continue talking now about the MCGA company. And we talked already a lot about the appointment of 2 new senior staff towards the company. Well, here we have some interesting details as well. So we see that Mr. Gutterman and Salzman will begin to transition into their roles at the closing of the business combination. And this is crucial because we talk a lot about the benefits truly of the MCGA company and the flywheel effect, but it first needs to be approved by the SEC before we can start buying some more CRO. And due to the government shutdown, this has been delayed for a long time. But now the SEC is back to work, as we mentioned earlier, and we now have also a timeline. This is expected to occur in the first quarter of 2026. And this makes me incredibly bullish. Incredibly bullish, ladies and gentlemen, because within the next 4 months, we'll see the completion of the company, and therefore potentially also the first net buys of the CRO token, maybe also from the market. And the timeline is amazing because in this quarter, we also expect the CRO ETF to go live. And we also got macro investor Raoul Paul talking about a potential peak in the second quarter of 2026. So this, guys, would be the perfect setup for one final lift up also for the CRO price, as we also talked about, for example, in our rainbow chart, because our rainbow chart is predicting the final wave to occur, give or take, in April of 2026. So this potentially aligns perfectly with the MCGA company starting to buy more and more CRO. So this, guys, fits perfectly with the narrative. But we also have one other press article as well, which is this one over here. So the Yorkville Acquisition Corp, MCGA company, basically marks next step towards completing the business combination. As you can see, there's now a confidential registration statement of the S4 form filed with the SEC. So the final step, guys, will be the public filing of the registration statement, which would follow a bit later. And of course, guys, I will make sure to follow all these statements also directly here on the Edgar database by the SEC. You can also follow it yourself over here. If you go to Edgar, you can fill in MCGA. You can find all the important reports, for example, the quarterly earnings, etc., etc., etc. I will leave a link in the description down below. But don't forget to hit the like button and, of course, subscribe for more intel about also the public filing. But you can see now we have a confidential filing. So the company has confidentially submitted a draft, so only a draft, guys, to also get comments by the SEC. But this is one of the final steps. If we get the approval of the S4, it is done. This filing marks the next necessary step towards its proposed business combination with affiliates of Trump Media and Crypto.com. So the business combination will establish Trump Media Group CRO Strategy, a digital asset treasury company focused on acquisition of the native cryptocurrency token of the Cronos ecosystem. It was announced on the August 26th and is now subject to the completion of the SEC review and the fulfillment of the customary closing conditions. But this also includes the approval of the Yorkville shareholders, and then the company will also be renamed to the Trump Media Group CRO Strategy Company. So currently it's still called Yorkville, but this name will change. The ticker has already changed to MCJ. So guys, we're getting very, very close now to fulfilling the last steps to get the business combination up and running. We now know that the CRO Treasury Company is getting closer and closer to its go live date, but we also had some more details regarding the investor prospectus. And that, guys, also has a lot of interesting details about which we're going to talk in the next video, probably on Friday. So make sure you hit the like button once more and also strap in for more content. And if you want to learn more, for example, about the Trump Media quarterly earnings report, we also got you covered with a video here next to me as well.